Oh, I'm live. I guess I'm live. All right. I'm just getting set up here. Nobody's here. All right. I am bringing up some stuff to talk about. Just bringing up some stuff to talk about. Nobody's in here yet, so bear with me. But yeah, we're going to get going here. It's just me tonight. So you can deal with that. All right. Got some good stuff to talk about tonight. We got Tommy Solos. Thanks, Matt. Yep, Tommy Solos tonight. We'll get into it in the podcast, but right now I am just getting all kinds of set up here, bringing up some good stuff to talk about. Just looking through some articles just in case I need to have a backup, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna see how long it goes. I don't know. I really would have liked to game plan a little bit more, but I'll be honest, I just didn't have time. And it's a little tough when I don't have Dan to come in when I'm lapsing. So um we'll see. We'll give it the old college try. I'm gonna drink a beer for sure. So will it last an hour? I don't know, probably not, but you know, we'll get through it. We will get through it. Yeah, I think I have everything that I need right now. All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I'll bring that up when we're ready to go. I don't have anything. Nope, don't need that. All right. Let's get this thing on the road. Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's see. I think I got the mood lighting set. Yeah, it's better. That's much better. All right, we got the mood lighting set. All right, let's get recording here. Yo, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the greatest podcast to exist in the history of podcasts. It's the internationally acclaimed Cindy Crawford approved podcast of hops, high fives, self high fives, and friendship. Not so much tonight, I guess. I'm your host, the crispiest of boys, the crowd killer of Krispies. Why I look really red right now? I don't know. It's Tom. Dan's not here tonight. He just kind of, just bailed on me. No, he got called into the brewery, and duty calls. He got called into the brewery. So it's just going to be me flying solo tonight. We're going to do a somewhat of a foolish episode. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out. I'm not nearly as prepared as I was the last time that we did one of these. Yeah, we'll see. So anyway, we got through the intro. I'm not going to do a song because that's really like that's Dan, the thing to do with Dan, and he's not here. So, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? I, yeah, it's 2020 hard 4 or the year of 30-second songs. I don't know. We're not going to do one tonight. But I will go through, I feel like I need like a music bed under me or something. It's like so, I don't know. It's weird. It's quiet. But that said, there we go. Right. We'll do housekeeping. Follow, rate, review, give us a follow on all major podcast platforms, wherever you give a listen. We are available, and I'll let that in a second. Give us a rating. The rating is a 5-star rating, 5-star party. And shoot us a review. If you want to help support the podcast, that's the best way to do it, honestly. Take a few minutes out of your day. We do the podcast for free. So, show your support that way. Give us a review. Take a couple minutes out of your day. Helps us, bump up in algorithms. Something's happening in Ghana where they love us, but we don't really get any reviews there. I don't know if they have Apple there. I don't know. That might be all like our Spotify listeners. I don't know. We have a lot more Spotify followers than I don't know what they do. They don't listen to us for sure. Either way, I digress. Shoot us a rating there. If you do want to support us monetarily, there's 2 ways to do it. One is a link in our bio. It'll take you to a listener support section. The listener support section, you can donate some money to the podcast. We'll give you a shout out. I don't know. If you do it, we'll figure something out. We'll work something out. The other way to do it, in our personal opinion, the best way to do it is subbing with Prime. This is a lot better when when Dan's here doing this. So sub with Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch account, and through the Twitch account, you can sub to us for free for a couple months. That's an ad-free watching experience, and we get kickbacks for that. I don't know. Twitch is the best way to watch us. I'll say that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Twitch is the best way to watch us. And as always, we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. Hopped Up Network is an ever-growing group of independent craft beer podcasts, much like our own. If you like our podcast, you might like some of the others on the network. Check them out. www.hoppedupnetwork.com. Instagram at Hopped Up Network. All right. Matt, you're right. It is quickly turning into the saddest No Friends podcast in the world. I am, it seems sad just to sit here. Nobody listens to solo podcasts. It's like Bill Burr does one, but it's weird. I guess sometimes like Tim Dillon does one, but they usually have they usually have some stuff going on. They usually have like a producer that chimes in. I have nobody to bounce this off of tonight. Just me alone by myself. So that said, I'm going to get into a beer because I need to drink this one off. Tried to get a couple people on. It was too last minute. I can't fault anybody. People have things to do. But so here I am. Either way, regardless, we are going to forge on, and we are going to, let me see, share this screen here. We're going to be drinking an English mild from our old friends at I don't like this view. I don't like this view either. That one? Yeah, I guess that one. I guess that's the way it's going to have to be. Yeah, we're going to be drinking an English mild. This is Old Tudor English mild from our old friends at Human Robot. Human Robot, they do lagers and IPAs. It's their kind of their thing. Much better with the lagers, but their IPAs ain't bad. Regardless, this is a it's a collaboration with Forest and Maine, which makes sense because they're a big English beer place. But this is an English mild, 3.6 or 3.9% alcohol by volume, brewed with a base of Warminster Fleur malted Maris Otter, and chocolate malts, Styrian Golding hops, and F&M's house ale yeast. Light, refreshing, and utterly, I don't know if that's guppable or gulpable. I think it might have been gulpable. There's a typo. It's no wonder they call it a mild. Aromas of iced tea, straw, and dewy woods blend with mild herbs and spongy moss. Let's get mild. Um, I don't know about you, but when when I'm drinking an iced tea, I don't really ever have the thought of you know what this thing could use? Some straw. Could really use some straw with this iced tea. But we'll see. So this is Old Tudor. We're gonna give it a crack right now. Don't need a countdown because I don't need to sync it with anybody. Um, I've had this already. Peel back the curtain, I guess, or you know, in full transparency. I've had this already, and it drinks fantastic. Great head profile on it. See how long it lasts, but it's got that nice caramel color that you kind of come to expect with an English mild. Um, yeah, let's get to it. Let's launch, everybody. I don't know if it's just from like reading these descriptions. I feel like it's happened in the past couple episodes, but just when I drank this before, no part of me went, man, I'm really getting a lot of iced tea flavor here. But I think because I read that, now my brain is thinking like eh, I'm I'm getting like getting kind of iced tea vibes from it. Um it's one of those like unsweetened iced teas that you get at like a diner, where you have to add you never get the sugar ratio right on it. It's never an unsweetened iced tea, rarely good. I'll put that out there. Um, Unsweetened iced tea is only good with lemonade in it, a little Arnie Palmy action. Um, I feel like I can never get the sugar ratio right in it. And two, the sugar never dissolves in it. It never dissolves. So you're just drinking an either under or over sweetened grainy beverage. It's not refreshing. That being said, I mean, I don't know what you would expect other than a wonderful beer from Human Robot and Forest of Maine, especially an English mild. Um, but I'm getting a lot of malt. Chocolate malt for sure is coming through. Um, I like the pepperiness of what was it? The Styrian Golding hops. Um, it's good. I like it. I like him in English mild. It's like it's not a crispy boy, but it's like it's crispy adjacent. Um, darker than a lager, but lighter than say like a um like a Dunkel or a Märzen. Um, it's like right in that sweet spot. I wouldn't necessarily call it a crispy boy. Definitely leans more towards, I would say, a malty boy, but I don't know. This is where Dan would interject and either agree or tell me why I'm wrong. But again, flying solo here. But I thought we could talk a little bit about English mild. It's a style that I think is making a big resurgence, and I don't think that's really a controversial thing to say. Um, I don't think it's something that people will, disagree with necessarily. Um, Not really a hot take. It's coming back around. I feel like you can kind of expect to go into most, you can kind of expect to go into most breweries and find an English mild or some kind of mild ale, and it's welcome. I think, especially in the summer. I think when you don't want something super dark, um, it's good for that. You want a little bit more flavor. You don't want to go super crisp like a lager. You're tired of the haze. You want something a little different, something a little packs a little bit more flavor punch. English mild, it's a great one. It's light. I mean, 3.9%. You can crush these. But I figured we talk a little bit about two things in this. We'll talk about the English milds, and we will. I want to dig into the Styrian Golding hop. Um, I feel like it's one that we don't see pop up often uh, in beers or advertised super heavy. Um, as far as like noble hops go, I don't really. Maybe I've seen it and I've just kind of overlooked it. But it's it's an interesting hop to be using. Um, but yeah, let's get it. We'll talk about mild ales. So modern milds are mostly dark colored with an alcohol volume of 3 to 3.6. Although lighter hued as well as stronger milds reaching 6% alcohol by volume and higher. Mild originated in Britain in the 17th century or earlier, and originally meant a young ale as opposed to a stale, aged, or old ale. So this is a little bit heavier than what this is saying is the standard ABV. Not by much. It's 3.9%. Mild experienced a sharp decline in popularity in the 1960s and was in danger of completely disappearing, but the increase of microbreweries had led to a modest renaissance. Hey, craft beer, we're bringing styles back, keeping styles alive, um, and an increase in numbers of milds, some labeled dark, being brewed. The campaign for Real Ale has designated May the mild month. Hey, didn't even plan that. It just worked out. We're in the mild month. We just celebrated Cinco de Mayo. I limed it up all weekend, and now we're in mild May. Mild May in the United States. Group of beer bloggers organized the first American mild month for May 2015 with 45 participating breweries across the country. I don't know if it's still going on. Um, yeah. So there's two types. I mean, so there's mild and there's brown ales. Brown and mild, also known as a Boilermaker, is a half pint of draft mild served mixed with a half pint of bottled brown ale in a pint glass. In Northwest England, a mixture of half a pint of mild and half a pint of bitter is known as a mixed. In Norfolk, the same mixture was called a pint of twos. while the same drink in the West Midlands was called a Mickey Mouse. I don't know about that. Why would he call it a Mickey Mouse? Just seems wrong. Something seems wrong about that. Um, Either way, mild ales are generally based on mild malt or pale malt. Most milds contain, in addition, a quantity of crystal malt. Dark milds, meanwhile, make use of chocolate malt, black malt, or dark brewing sugars. So this is an English mild, but they're saying dark milds. Is this considered a dark mild? Just says it's on Untapped. Does it say on Untapped? Is it listed as a dark mild? On Untapped, it's listed as a dark mild. So we're drinking a dark mild. Because it does have the chocolate malt in there. I guess lends it to being a darker color. Milds tend to be lightly hopped compared to pale ale and are usually low in alcohol. Strong mild ales used to reach 6 or 7% ABV, but very few such beers are still brewed. Yeah. As as part of the first American Mild Month, the project organizers challenged participating breweries to create a new variation of mild ale style by brewing with American malts and hops. They defined American mild as a restrained darkish ale with gentle hopping and a clean finish so that the malt and what hops are present shine through. So with Old Tudor here, the the malt is definitely the star of the show. Uh, Shining through. The chocolate malt is really prominent here, but there's definitely a pepperiness on the back end, coming from the Styrian Golding. That it's from the noble hop family, and that's typically the kind of flavor profile that you get from those, kind of like an earthy, peppery flavor, and it's coming through on the back end here. Um, so that's mild ale. We have so much more episode left. I don't know how many boys. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. We're 20 minutes in, not even. We're talking English milds. Yeah, I don't know, man. English milds, they're good. Like I said, they're crispy adjacent. They're crispy enough to be not be um I don't know. They're crispy enough, but they're more malty than they are crispy. I'll say that. They're straddling that line. Um, the one thing that stood out to me, and I said it before, was the Styrian Golding hop that's used in this one. So it's commonly known and goes by a multi. I mean, oh, Jesus Christ. But maybe I should have researched this. Maybe I should have read a little bit before the episode and not just done this like, fuck it, we'll do it live. Um, but who are we? Who are we to do any kind of research or prep? It's just really not our style. Either way, confusing still is the fact that it actually doesn't come from Golding at all, but rather a result of the clonal selection of Fuggle, and as such, exhibits many Fuggle-like characteristics. We should have done this with. I should have done this. Dan and I could have had a good conversation here about Fuggle-like characteristics. What are Fuggles? Um, it was Oh, there we go. Hold on, Matt. Matt came in. I didn't even see his pop in here. I'm late on this, Matt. I apologize. For a mile, I'm looking sub 5% ABV. Anything over usually doesn't come out well. Well, so yeah. So the thing that I was reading was saying somewhere below 4, like 3 to 3.6, is a little bit on the heavier side. Like I said, 3.9%. Um, But I'll agree. You're getting more into a strong ale, around like 5 to 6 to 7, getting in that strong ale, which doesn't really happen much. And I feel like that would kind of have the flavor profile of like a triple IPA to me. Like, even though it's not like super high ABV, I feel like the high alcohol would like the alcohol flavor would come through too much on that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a strong ale. Um, but let's get back to Styrian Gold here. Um, it was considered a major crop in the 1930s in both Styria, a state in Austria, and across the Savinja River in Slovenia, formerly Yugoslavia. Its staying power has been attributed to its disease resistance, specifically its resistance to mildew. It is now a world renowned hop and in high demand. From a brewer's perspective, Styrian Gold is a lovely aroma hop and exhibits resinous, earthy flavors that are perhaps considered slightly more refined than Fuggle. It has also been described as imparting subtle aromas of white pepper to a brew. Sure. So let's see. What else do we have? Where we can so what this is, let's see. Oh, it's got low alpha acid levels. I did read that. Its purpose is for aroma, not so much for flavor. Moderate growth rate. Oil composition. Oh, style guide. Extra special bitter ale, lager, Belgian ale. An English mild, I guess, sometimes. Um, let's see, what else can we find on this? Can we find any kind of rundown of this? I think they just copy and pasted on this other website. Styrian Golding, as it is commonly known, goes by a multitude of sometimes confusing aliases, and is the result of the clonal selection of Fuggle, exhibiting many Fuggle-like. We saw that from a brewer's perspective. Lovely aroma hop. It exhibits. They literally just copied and pasted this from the other website. Pleasant, earthy, and spicy. It has a comparison to its Slovenian cousins, more citrusy aromas, particularly grapefruit. I don't know. I mean, I don't really get that coming through, but this is a mild ale, so I don't know what else. I don't think I've ever really had. Um, I don't think I've ever really had a beer that is hopped with Styrian Golding. That I've noticed. I again, I could have had beers in the past. I also never seen Fuggle, so you know, you find out more about these hops the more you actually look at them. This is saying, let's see. Styrian Golding is great in many beer styles, earthy and spicy, low alpha acid, nearly identical to Fuggles. It's an aroma hop and it's from Slovenia. Everybody says the same thing. It all says the same thing. Thought we'd get a little bit more out of this like breakdown of Styrian Golding hops, but I don't think that's happening. I don't think it happened. Let's see. I'm trying this one last website and then we're going to call it a day on Styrian Golding. Nope, that's it. We're calling it a day on Styrian Golding. Styrian Golding. It's fine. It's like a noble-ish hop. It's what it seems like. It's brewed for aroma. And let's see the Brooklyn Brew Shop. They got to have some kind of, they do. They have more breakdown. Coming from Eastern Europe, provide a solution to diseased hops in the 1930s. A descendant of English Fuggles is often used in English brews as well as some Belgian ales. because of its relation to Fuggle hops. Styrian, I'm going to get in trouble using that. I'm going to slip up saying Fuggle and something's going to, I don't know. Styrian Golding enriches the nose with pleasant earthy aromas, but adds its own hint of spiciness. Spiciness. See, that's I think I could be described as a Styrian Golding. I have pleasant earthy aromas, and I add my own hint of spiciness. Girl. The origin, Styrian Golding's story gives you a sense of Schadenfreude. It began in 1930s when German hops grown in Styria were infected with disease. Hop farmers decided to try their luck with an English hop variety. Hence, the Goldings in the name. Styrian Goldings are sometimes called Savinja Goldings after the river in Slovenia, which divides the Slovenian-Austrian border. They're farmed on both sides of the river today. The name can be misleading as it is closer to Fuggles than East Kent Golding in character. Provides a light bitterness, but is known for its aromatic qualities. When added late in the boil, it contributes spicy and earthy notes. Its typical use has an aroma alpha acid 4.5 to 6%. Slovenian flavors, white pepper, moss, undergrowth styles, Belgian ales, English lagers, similar hops, Fuggles, and Williamette. Beers to try: Smoked Wheat by Ommegang, Hennepin by Yeasty Boys, Brooklyn Brew Shop Smoked Wheat, Ommegang, Hennepin, and Yeasty Boys Pot Kettle Black. There you go. That's the ones to try. And that is a wrap on Styrian Goldings. We did it. We added another 10 minutes. We got through it. I feel like this gets better. And, we've talked about it a ton on this podcast. Letting a beer get down to closer to room temperature, not getting fully like warm or room temp, like still keeping a little cold crispiness to it. Definitely it makes a difference. The flavor definitely changes after it's been like crispy, crispy cold out of the fridge. Overall, just this has been really enjoyable. So I had this, got this from, I think Dylan bought this for me, or picked it up for me. Didn't buy it for me, picked it up for me. And I had one the other day and I was like, man, this is spectacular beer. I really, really enjoyed drinking it. This one falls into the Post Malone category. I would say Post Malone / grilling beer, because it has so much flavor to it. It's not super heavy, but I wouldn't want to drink this while I'm mowing the lawn. I think where this one really shines is the Post Malone or the grill. I think the grill's another good place to have this. I would recommend, if you're able to get out the Cuban Robot, pick this one up. And that's our beer discussion for this week. I do want to bring this to the table. This happened. Man, this is from April? Man, this happened so long ago. I don't know. I thought this was posted earlier. Oh no, wait, April, May. Nope, this was posted like a week ago. Oh, a little over a week ago. I don't think we touched on it last week. Let's let me see. Let me do this. Dark mode off. Okay. Dark mode back on. All right. So there was a video that went up about 10 days ago. We didn't touch on it last week. I'm not sure why. But there was a video that was put up by Warwick Farm. Now, it could be considered divisive, I guess. I'm just going to bring it up here. So they did. Let's pop this thing out. There we go. So I'm going to pause it here. Warwick
unsupervised children here on our premise.
Stop. All right. So Warwick put out a video. Timmy Tabor, he's a man of the people. Nope, don't want that. Don't like that. Can I get rid of comments? I'll throw up captions, English. So they put up a video. I guess there have been some incidents at the brewery where children have gone unsupervised and have caused some issues. So the Warwick crew decided it was best to put an announcement out and let people know that it's not going to be. They can't keep allowing this. They've done something like this in the past, and kind of was just like, hey, children are fine here, but you need to keep an eye on them, which it's not an unreasonable request. So they had to put this out, and we'll let this thing play through.
We've always aimed to maintain a family-friendly environment. Recent instances of unsupervised children causing disruptions and damage have prompted us to implement stricter supervision policies. Effective immediately, children must be accompanied by a responsible adult at all times, both indoors and outdoors. Instances of children straying into restricted areas, causing damage and disrupting other patrons' experiences have become too frequent for us to ignore. Moving forward, our staff will provide verbal warnings to adults accompanying unsupervised children. If issues persist, we reserve the right to ask the responsible party to leave. We value the safety and enjoyment of all our patrons and appreciate your cooperation in adhering to these new policies. Let's continue to create a welcoming and safe environment for everyone here at Warwick Farm Brewing. Thank you for your understanding and support. You can find all these new policies on our website and through all of our social media pages. Cheers.
5 famous actresses who became...
Okay. All right. So, while, I mean, the politician PSA style of video aside, I don't think this is unreasonable. If you're going to go to a brewery and you're going to bring your kids with you, I just don't understand how people can let their children go unsupervised. Right? For one, I rarely bring my kid out to like breweries, but there are instances where you have to do that. If you want to go out and enjoy a beer at a brewery, sometimes it's not feasible to get a babysitter for that. Right? So in those instances, you got to bring them with you. I keep my kid close, and I don't want to let my kid run around just on its own, because one, like, it's embarrassing. Like if my kid went and like knocked something over, knocked somebody's drink over, caused some kind of disruption, like that's embarrassing. Obviously kids are going to be kids, right? They Kids get bored easily. They need to be entertained. And breweries aren't entertaining for kids. It's not a spot where they're like, yes, let's go to the brewery. And this seems like it's going to be so much fun. No, it's something where the adults are going because they want to meet up with their friends and they want to go have a beer or two. Hopefully. I mean, there is a part of you that's like, why are you, if you're going to go and like, throw, like, sling a couple back, like, I don't know. It's irresponsible. You have to get in the car with your kid. All of it. I'm against. I can't even say I'm against it because um I'm kind of Sweden in this situation, where I understand breweries that are like, no kids, we don't want it. It's too much of an insurance liability. Um, it's a disruption. Kids really shouldn't be at a brewery anyway. I get that. On the other side, when people are like, well, I want to be able to come out and it's not always feasible. Um, I get that side too. Um, but at the end of the day, it's up to the business's discretion of what they want to do. And it's not just breweries, it's anywhere. Why anywhere outside of like a playground? Why are you letting your kids go around unsupervised? I don't, in my head, like as a father, I don't understand the thought process and like how you can let your kid just run around a business or like a restaurant anywhere. Like we've heard stories of kids like running up and down the steps at breweries. Like it just it's it boggles the mind. Um, I don't want to say like kids should not be allowed at breweries. I'm not on that side of it at all. But I agree with Warwick's stance here, where if you're going to bring your kid, watch them. Make sure they're not acting up. Like, be a responsible adult. Right, Matt. Yeah, nail on the head. They're just asking to watch your kid. Doesn't seem unreasonable, but I see it too often where kids are unsupervised anywhere, not just breweries. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like anywhere in public. Why are you letting your kid just run loose? Like, I understand. You got to understand. Like, kids are going to be kids. They're going to want to find some way to play and have fun. It's your job as a parent to keep that to a reasonable level. Um, all right. And so I want to bring this up. That said, um, we were sent some screen caps here of so Warwick did the right thing and limited. First, they had comments turned off completely, and then they limited who was able to comment. Um, that was the right thing to do, I think, in their case. I think it would cause too many problems. There are too many people that are thinking, like, one, if you think it's about you, it's about you. In this case, if you're like, oh, this is about, it's about you, your kids. You're a bad parent. You're not keeping track of your kids. You're going and getting drunk with your friends, with your kids there. It's not a good look. But it makes sense. No need to have people fighting in your comment section. So in the meantime, we were sent privy to some things. The first one, this lovely woman, Lauren. It's Lauren Hulay, Hulay. I don't give a shit. Terrible move. Your clients, all caps, clients, live in suburbs and have kids. Warwick responded with, families are welcome and always have been. Going forward, children must be supervised. And Lauren comments with, you couldn't hold a staff meeting and have it enforced with families when the occasion arose. What's off-putting is posting a press conference style video scolding those that chose to have a family as if more than the majority isn't responsible with their children, and then disabling your comment section. The response to that was, our company has had multiple staff meetings about this topic. Families are welcome and always have been. These policies are in place to ensure the safety and enjoyment of all patrons who visit our brewery. Comments were disabled because we didn't want arguments on our social media outlets. Great responses to an unreasonable person. I mean, I love that, like you're scolding those who chose to have a family. No, they're scolding those who chose to have a family and then chose not to watch their kids out in public. That's who they're scolding. And it's not even scolding. It's saying, hey, our business is putting these practices in place so dum-dums like you can watch your kids. And if you feel like you can't do that, it's not the place for you. Find somewhere else. Lauren's got 4 kids and wants to let everyone else watch them on Friday at 5 p.m. Friday at 5 p.m., brother, it's probably Saturday at noon, like prime brewery hours, So that was one. The even better one here is from, what's her name here? Sarah Vonder something. I can't see her full name. Sarah says, get a playground. Starting off with that. Really just, forcing fastball right down the middle. Get a playground. You, business owner, business establishment that produces alcoholic beverages for adults over 21. Get a playground. Your brewery is so fun for families, but it lacks a family-friendly atmosphere. It's a brewery. It's a brewery. This isn't Applebee's. It's a brewery. It's a beautiful brewery on a farm. I agree. Outside, it's a great place. It could be good for kids, sure. Lacks a family-friendly atmosphere. Before we're going 2020, we toyed with the idea of starting like a GoFundMe for a playground installation for Warwick, because I mean that we would paint them into a corner. If we raised the funds for a playground for Warwick, they would have to do it. They couldn't just take the funds and not build a playground. They would have to do it. I can guarantee that you will see more business when parents are happy too. Just a thought. It's a dumb thought, but it is just a thought. Warwick respond, hello, thank you for his suggestion. We won't be getting a playground. Cheers. Again, the right response, the correct response. She's the person that this is about. She's the person, because I want to go there. I don't want to take care. I don't want to watch my kids. I want somebody else to do it. I want a playground to do that for me. Get a playground. Brewery, get a playground. If you want to go to an establishment with a playground, go to Chuck E. Cheese or McDonald's. Find a McDonald's with a play place. I'm sick of hearing the argument. Wow. oh guys, we got offered a promotion for channel views and followers and chat bots. Price is lower than any of their competitor. So yeah, so I'm tired of hearing the argument. I'm tired of hearing people talk about this because it's very cut and dry. Breweries aren't places for your children. Children are welcome there as a convenience to you, under the assumption that you are going to supervise your children as you should in any establishment. Any establishment, you should be supervising your children. They should not be running into staff or other patrons, knocking over drinks. It shouldn't happen. Should never happen. Any establishment. The problem is that it's just like everything else today. There's a hard line stance. People are either very for this or very against this, and they're the loudest. I think you have a small group on each side, and you have a large group in the middle that is the sensible group where they're like, yeah, kids should be allowed, but under the supervision of the parents. But the loudest one is breweries aren't meant for kids. Kids should be banned. And then all these breweries should build playgrounds. And it's just, you're wrong for telling me how to parent my kid. Fuck you. I'm just I'm tired of hearing the argument. It's common sense, and it's just something that a lot of people lack this day. It really is, and this is like a prime example of it. Plain and simple. Most of our listeners, I think, are parents, and I can't imagine any of them going to any establishment and letting their kid just go play, go do something. The adults we're gonna have a couple drinks. We're gonna tie a couple on. You come back, after you've done enough damage, and then I'm gonna tie a few back, and we're gonna drive home later. I don't know. What do you mean? What do you mean here, Matt? Double down on this is wild. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's all stupid. It's all dumb. There's never going to be any kind of settlement on this. Like nobody's going to settle on if this is right or wrong, but I don't, Matt, do you mean like people commenting on Warwick's thing, like sending direct messages to them? Yeah. It's a wild thought. It's insane. You're going to get those angry moms that are just, it's very few, but they're the ones that want to bring it up, and they're just, why can't I get drunk with my friends while other people watch my kids? The wild one is get a playground. Put a playground at your brewery. Put a playground at your brewery. Your brewery is so fun for family, but it's lacking a family fun atmosphere. Your brewery is lacking a family fun atmosphere. Let it sink in. Your brewery, where you brew beer, alcoholic beverages, is lacking a family fun atmosphere. Like the absolute dipshit thought process that not only that woman had, but she had that thought. Think about this. She had the thought, and she went, I'm so right on this that I'm going to direct message the company and tell them My idiotic thought. And that's these are the people that these rules are made for. Well, honestly, we could talk about this all night, but guess what, guys? We did it. We did a full hour. I didn't think we were going to get there. Matt, Andy, thank you guys for being in chat and contributing. I don't think I really hope that the chat would be in here to give me stuff to talk about tonight. I don't think we would have got more than 20 minutes without it. But yeah, guys, thank you for giving a listen. Dan should be back next week. If he's not, I'm probably just kill myself. So give us a listen next week. Be on the lookout for any updates. If it's just going to be me again, if I can find a guest host, I don't know. Dan probably should be back. I think this was kind of an emergency situation, but I don't know. Either way, check out all our social media at Best Friends Pod everywhere. Give us a review. And until next week, everybody, we will see you next week. See. That's the one. All right. Guys, thanks to you for your listener supports. Yeah, I don't know. Dan might be back next week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll be back next week. Talk to you later. Bye.